Hello, welcome back to another Tune Tuesday. Today we are taking a look at one of my favorite bossas of all time. Actually, just one of my favorite jazz standards of all time. I've played it countless times. It was one of the first I ever learned by Louise Bonfa. The tune, Black Orpheus. You may know it as Mana de Carnaval, Morning of the Carnival, Orfe de Negro. It goes by a lot of names. But Carnival theme for Black Orpheus. Anyway, that's what we're doing today. Looking at the chords. I'm wearing my... Oops. Was that loud? I'm wearing my Timex Easy Reader today. And I've got my blue navy with white dot tie on. That's what's going on. As always, if you've been enjoying the tune videos, theory videos, any of it, a like and subscribe is always appreciated. Of course, not necessary. Just keeps the channel going and the community growing. So, without further ado, Black Orpheus chord analysis. Let's go. Here we are, Black Orpheus, Louise Bonfa, one of my favorite tunes. One of the best bosses, let alone jazz tunes, at least for me. Yeah, very cool tune. Okay, so let's get down to it. Now this is cool because usually when I say, okay, what key are we in? Looks like we're either in C or A minor. And usually when that's the case, we're in the major key because, well, that's just usually how it goes. But here you'll see G sharp, you'll see E7 a lot. There's another one. They're all over the place. And you see we'll start in an A minor chord and we end on an A minor chord. So with that said, we are actually in the key of A minor here. Okay? So let's get down to it. We have our one chord. We have our two half diminished. Let me actually make this brush size just a tiny bit smaller. Two half diminished, 5 chord. And you're going to see that a lot in this tune. Just a little bit bigger. How about that? 1 chord. 2 half diminished, 5 chord. Keep on rolling. 1 chord. Now this is where things get hairy. There's a couple ways you could analyze this. The easiest way is saying we're switching to the key of C here. Now, you could say we're still in A minor, and this is a minor 4 chord. This is a major 3 chord. This is a problem because in the key of A minor, A harmonic minor, we have a G sharp, like you see in this chord, right? The third of the chord is a G sharp. So that's weird. I don't know if you'd be able to do that. And then this gets weird. There's another G7. So it just gets weird if you try to keep it in A minor. So I think the best way to do this is to analyze it as if we're in the key of C now. And you'll see this becomes a lot easier and makes a lot more sense. Classic 2-5-1. This is a cool chord. So first of all, let's take a look at where we're going. 2 chord, 5 chord. So we've talked about secondary dominance before. What's the easiest way to get to this chord? Well, usually you'd throw an A7 here because that's the 5 of D, and we'd mark that a 5 of 2, right? Because that's the secondary dominant leading to D minor. And what if I told you that this was a 5 of 2? And you're saying, John, that's not an A7 chord, that's a C sharp. diminished chord. And I say, I beg to differ. Let's see, I'll do this up here. So, first of all, what is in an A7 chord? A, C sharp, E, G, and we're going to a D minor here, so let's make it a flat 9. B flat, right? So there's an A flat 9 chord, A7, and a flat 9. So that B will go to A when you switch to D minor. Okay, so now let's see what's in a C sharp diminished chord. C sharp, E, G, B flat. So, with that said, look at this. I mean, we're just getting rid of the bass note here. So, a lot of people actually call these rootless 5 chords. And with that said, actually, let me show you this quick. A diminished chord is built on minor thirds. So, and I actually technically, if we wanted to be, no, yeah, we could call it that. So, it's built on minor thirds. There's 4 notes. And what does that mean? It means that you can start a diminished chord on any one of these, and it's going to come out the same. You want an E diminished chord? This is what it's going to look like. It's actually what would be called a D flat, but same notes and harmonic equivalent. Okay. G. E would be on top. Okay. So it's actually would be a F flat, but they're the same. So what does that mean? Well, as you can see up here, those were all the same notes. So when you see an A7 chord, you can swap out that chord with a C sharp diminished, an E diminished, a G diminished, or a B flat diminished chord, because that is all the same as this chord, the diminished chord. And no matter what root you have here, it's going to end up being the same notes, because that's just how diminished chords work. They're just a revolving door. There's only, a couple versions of it. So that's why that works. Excuse me. Okay, so that's a rootless diminished chord. So this is acting as an A7 going to this 2 chord. And I don't know what happened there. We've got our 1. We've got our 4. And this is where we switch back A minor. How do I know that? Because of this. G sharp. And this is a classic 2, 5, 1 to A minor. Let's keep rolling. 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, and again 2. I can write that better. Hold on. 2, 5. Oh, we don't get our 1 chord here. What is going on here? Well, let's take a look at where we're going. We do end up getting here, which is in the key of A minor. So this is our minor 4. So what the heck is going on here? This just so happens to be a minor 2-5-1 to D minor. to our 4 chord. So 4, 2 of 4, 5 of 4, and then finally we get our 4 chord. Okay, so a nice little 2-5-1 in the key of D minor, but we're not really going outside of the key because we're headed to a place that's in the key, and we'll keep on going here. Call this a passing tone or a passing chord. It's really just for the bass note. You have a D down to a C down to a B, so you get this great stepwise motion. But we'll call that passing chord. 2, 5, 1. Keep on going. 6. Call this passing. What did I write last time? Keeping consistent. Passing chord. Again, it's the stepwise A down to G down to F. Stepwise bass motion. 2, 5, 1, 2, 5. And now this is where you would go back up to the top where we would get our 1 chord. Or at the very, very, very end of the tune, you'll continue on. You get our 1 chord. 4, 1, 4, 1. Now this is interesting. The whole tune we've been in A harmonic minor. But what do we have here? E minor, which gives us a G natural. Okay, so I'm still going to write this as if we're in the key of A minor, because we have been pretty much the whole tune. But we're now in A natural minor because of this G natural. So that's a minor 5 chord. But it does lead us to our 1 still. So that's why I'm not changing the key. And that, I think, is that. Black Orpheus. A lot of 2-5, minor 2-5-1s. So if you're working on minor 2-5-1s, this is a great tune to do it on. Changes to the relative major just for, 4 bars, 8 bars. So, and then we're right back to A minor. But very, very, very hip tune. Yeah, one of my favorites. So hopefully you found this interesting. Learned something, or at least was nice to have on in the background. That's enough information for today, and we'll catch you for the next one. Thanks for watching.